Calling up Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers hold relief distributions and free clinics to help those devastated by the recent flood. We take a look to see how items at home can be turned into natural cleaning agents that can clear away grease in our kitchen. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helena. Thank you for joining us. In Indonesia, following the recent flooding, 2 free clinics were held in West Jakarta's Tingkaran, helping more than 1,500 people. But first, let's go to West Java, where Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to 4 different villages to distribute relief items. In the aftermath of the recent monsoon season, many areas in Indonesia remain submerged underwater. In this village, residents are forced to travel on rafts. 4 days ago, this area was severely flooded, with water levels reaching half a story in height. Although the waters have receded, many houses have been left covered in mud and debris.
Anak-anak pasti ketakutan ya?
Iya, pada nangis semua. Saudara-saudara juga pada nangis semua.
Meanwhile, in West Java, a village located in Karawang is still submerged underwater. Currently, without a place to call home, many locals have decided to stay in tents on higher ground. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers travel to 4 different villages with food and daily necessities, helping more than 700 households. Due to the severe flooding caused by the monsoon season, thousands of people in East Jakarta were also forced to evacuate to temporary shelters. To make sure flood survivors can go to sleep on full stomach, since January 19, Tzu Chi Foundation has been working with the Indonesian Armed Forces, churning out 800 hot meals a day. Seeing the hard work Tzu Chi volunteers have put in to help those devastated by the disaster, the Chief of Staff of the Indonesian Armed Forces expresses his gratitude.
Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation and volunteers for reaching out in the aftermath of the disaster. Tzu Chi volunteers have helped our residents with the utmost sincerity.
Meanwhile, in Jakarta, with the continuous heavy downpour, many places are still submerged underwater, leaving experts concerned about a possible infectious disease outbreak.
It is hard to receive a balanced diet at the temporary shelters, and the living environment is not ideal. That's why many residents have gotten ill.
In West Jakarta's Tingkaran, the Tzu Chi Foundation set up a free clinic at the local elementary school. According to Tima doctors, many residents are suffering from sanitary-related diseases, such as skin problems or diarrhea. Thankfully, with Tzu Chi's free clinic providing free medication, many are on their way to a quick recovery.
We really needed the free clinic because if the adults are sick, no one will be able to look after the children.
To make sure those ill can receive needed medication, 2 free clinics were held in Tingkaran with 20 Tima doctors on site. In just a day, more than 1,500 patients were seen by Tima doctors. Other than holding free clinics, Tzu Chi volunteers also put on silent performances to lift resident spirits. And in the days and weeks ahead, volunteers promise to continue to accompany these flood survivors on the road to recovery. In China's Guizhou province, Tzu Chi volunteers held another winter aid distribution in Luojian County and was joined by some 20 children from a nearby state foster care home.
Today, Tzu Chi volunteers are here in Luodian County, an isolated part of Guizhou and one where poverty runs deep, for another winter aid distribution. Helping them are several young volunteers from a nearby state foster home.
Today, I have brought 20 children from our home to experience the love that is in people's hearts. We hope this time we can help them feel the love in their own life and learn to express it to others. Because we have received the help of others, so we want them to learn from that and help as well. We hope that more people can feel what it is like to be helped by others.
Having themselves received help in the past, these children are now relishing in the joy that comes from helping others.
At Tzu Chi's winter aid distribution in Guizhou province, China, Tzu Chi volunteers brought bags of rice for local residents. During the distribution, several rice grains fell out of the bag onto the ground. Knowing that each grain of rice was hard to come by, volunteers quickly bent over to collect the fallen rice grains.
These bags of rice are filled with Tzu Chi volunteers' care for the residents of Guizhou. During the distribution process, some rice fell out of the bag and landed onto the ground. Students and volunteers quickly salvaged the fallen grains.
We have to cherish each grain of rice as it did not come by easy. If we scoop them up quickly, they're still edible.
A thick cardboard has turned into a handy tool to collect the rice. Volunteers swiftly gather the fallen grains to prevent it from being stepped on.
捡一捡呐，哈，那还是可以煮一顿香喷喷的米饭给孩子们吃啊，因为他们今天也付出了很多。
We can still prepare a nice meal for the students. They contributed a lot today. They helped carry many bags of rice this morning. They were sad to see the rice accidentally stepped upon. They said some of the rice grains were stuck in between the floorboards, so we're going to sweep it up now.
Each grain of rice is hard to earn, so we have to cherish it.
Every single grain of rice is the result of hard work and sweat. Therefore, even fallen rice grains can become a steaming bowl of rice that fills stomachs. Apart from helping others, volunteers and students also learn to cherish all resources.
In Guizhou Shancheng, since 1999, Tzu Chi began offering scholarships to children from needy families. Now, 15 years later, many of these same children are repaying the love by returning to their village to be teachers for the next generation.
Tzu Chi volunteers are here at the Luodian Minzu Middle School to hand out their next round of scholarships. Helping them are several college students, including Wang Huadong, currently studying at Guizhou University and formerly a scholarship recipient himself. At Wang Huadong's home, a thatched roof hut greets visitors. Here, Wang lived with his family of 5. In many ways, his life was typical for this farming area, poverty always knocking and school a 2-hour walk over mountain roads.
My father said to me, "Dong, you need to study hard and learn at school. That will make all the difficulty I go through worth it." I'm so grateful for my father, for the upbringing and care I received, as well as for his efforts on behalf of my education. I just want to say, Dad, you worked so hard. Thank you.
Seeing how his son has grown up right, Huadong's father's eyes rim with tears.
Hua Dong treats me very good. I hope that next year he can continue and get a good job.
Now in his 3rd year of college, Huadong has already started working part-time as a tutor. With a steady income, he has discontinued his scholarship so that Tzu Chi can give it to other students in need.
The volunteers told me to not worry about how poor I was. The important thing was having the will to study and work hard. Although I'm not yet in a position where I can give back, but what I can do is free up my scholarship for other deserving students in my village.
Another scholarship recipient giving back is Zhang Zaiquan, currently a teacher at the Luodian Minzu Middle School. Coming from the same village as Huadong at 26, he now serves as an example for the next generation.
I'm the first one from my village to graduate from college. I think if I can be an example of someone who was able to use education to leave poverty behind, the other children will see that and they will be motivated to study hard.
With his mother gone and his father working in Jiangsu, Zhang Zaiquan supported himself and his brother by picking manure in the fields. However, he was determined to use the power of knowledge to lift himself out of poverty.
I think that if you are unable to leave those mountains, you are destined to a life of hard labor. At that time, I thought to myself, study hard and get out of here. And in the future, I can help others in the same boat as myself.
In Guizhou, there are still many families like Zhang's and Wang's that simply don't have the money to send their children to school. Fortunately, there to help has been Tzu Chi, who offers children hope for a better future.
To welcome in Chinese New Year, many have begun their year-end cleaning around the house. In fact, there are items at home which we can turn into natural cleaning agents that will help clean even the most troublesome parts of our kitchen. Here's more.
Did you know the leftover water from cooking noodles can be used as a cleaning detergent?
It is really natural and easy to use when washing oily plates.
To clean this greasy filter box, first soak it in the leftover water for 5 to 10 minutes and then add some baking soda and hot water.
The grease in the bottom is gone because the oil is acidic and the alkaline in this will be released.
The result of this natural cleaning agent is evident in just 10 minutes.
I haven't even scrubbed this. I have only soaked it for a few times and it's already spotless.
The oil stains are gone and this filter is sparkling again. Baking soda can also be used another way.
If you spray it with baking soda water, then grease won't easily stick to the fan.
Even stains on the exhaust fan, which are the most difficult to clean, can be easily washed off.
Don't spray too much either, because if the fan is not turning, the grease will drop down from here. If we cook every day, we just have to spray here and grease won't accumulate.
Baking soda can be used on a variety of kitchen items and utensils. Leftover water from washing rice also has the same effect.
Just soak it for 5 minutes and it will wash off easily.
As well, salt, vinegar and lemon all have special cleaning properties.
If you have vinegar at home, use it to kill bacteria and to get rid of bad odors. Then use a scrub to give it a wash. This chopping board is already 2 years old.
Some men prefer to use lemon over vinegar, for it is more natural and does not have such a strong smell.
Using natural ingredients is eco-friendly and is not harmful for our body. You can use items from your daily life as cleaning agents.
With the right tools and detergents, year-end cleaning is a snap.
In our next report, we continue to learn how to use a few simple ingredients to make effective and natural detergents that will help speed up your year-end cleanup around the kitchen.
To clean the greasiest and most dangerous spots in the kitchen, a natural detergent can be made using 100 grams of soap, tangerine peels, 400 grams of baking soda, and 200 milliliters of water.
Tangerine or lemon peels, in fact any citrus fruit peels will do. Our purpose is to extract the essence so that the cleaning powder will have a citrus smell to it.
First, chop up the tangerine peels before adding 200 milliliters of water. After 10 minutes, add slices of soap in as well.
You don't need to overheat it, just stir it until it melts.
Keep stirring while adding the 400 grams of baking soda.
Let it cool off, then compress it into powder form. Saponification occurs when baking soda, a form of alkaline, is put with grease. So baking soda can be used to clean grease. In addition, soaps used to wash clothing are cheap and eco-friendly. The two added together will offer better cleaning results.
This eco-friendly detergent is capable of cleaning the most greasy parts of the kitchen. Another cleaning agent can also be made to kill bacteria. Ingredients include tangerine peels, a bottle of water, baking soda, and a bottle of 95% methanol. First, put slices of fruit peels inside an empty glass bottle and add 100 milliliters of methanol to set aside for a week or two.
When you see yellow liquid, that means the essence has been extracted.
Next, pour 25 milliliters of water into an empty bottle and add 10 grams of baking soda. Finally, add 75 milliliters of fruit peel flavored methanol and mix it before pouring into a spray bottle.
The oil stains inside washing basins or on exhaust fans are not as thick, so this will do the trick.
Cleaning greasy spots in the kitchen can be a painless job with the right detergent and tools.
As the Lunar New Year draws near, Tzu Chi volunteers in Keelung help care recipient Mr. Xie renovate his home. Meanwhile, in Hualien, volunteers and Tzu Chi staff members arrive at the local recycling station to help sort recyclables and clean up.
With Lunar New Year just around the corner, households across Taiwan are recycling unused items at recycling points near them. At the Hualien recycling station, volunteers young and old come together to help recycling volunteers sort the extra influx of recyclables.
This is our year-end event which we hold at the Hualien recycling station. This place is like our home and we are here to give it a thorough cleaning.
Making good use of their winter vacation, students join their families in helping categorize recyclables on site.
Today I came here with my grandma. We sorted PET bottles. I feel good to be doing recycling because it helps to protect our environment. Besides, Taiwan has already generated a lot of carbon emission.
Young volunteers not only learn how to protect our planet, but also learn from volunteers ways to give unused items a second lease on life.
I am very happy. I wish everyone a happy new year.
Meanwhile, Tzu Chi staff also showed up to help clean up the area, giving the recycling station a fresh new look. Heading north to Keelung, care recipient Mr. Xie is in need of help from Tzu Chi to renovate his home. Tzu Chi volunteers therefore decided to help Mr. Xie fix his roof before the Lunar New Year.
During the winter, it often rains in Keelung, so we had to cancel the date of the repair many times. Today, we finally have a chance to complete the renovation.
The wood roof is replaced by a metal one, while the interior of the house is refurbished as well. In addition, volunteers bring new furniture to replace the damaged ones they find inside. Thanks to the volunteers' help, Mr. Xie finally has a decent place to call home. Thus, he decides to do something on Tzu Chi's behalf.
现在已经募款几户了
？3户和4户。
现在已经4户了啦，3、4户了哈，已经都有开始在募款。
Today, I joined the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters in bringing blessings to care recipients.
With everyone working together, Mr. Xie now enjoys a home that will keep him safe and dry.
Also celebrating the upcoming Chinese New Year are Tzu Chi volunteers in northern Taiwan who organize year-end gatherings in different liaison offices and recycling stations. Let's take a look.
To thank the recycling volunteers for their past efforts over the past year, Tzu Chi volunteers of Xintai Liaison Office organized a year-end gathering. Early in the morning, kitchen volunteers are already preparing delicious vegetarian food to serve up.
We wish them good health and a long life so that they can do volunteer work as long as possible.
I don't know anything about Buddhism or personal cultivation. I have no idea about all that. I just keep recycling.
For 70-year-old Li Jingde and other volunteers, practicing recycling is a form of self-cultivation. Practicing recycling not only cleans up our environment, but also purifies our hearts. Here at the Mingshan Recycling Station in New Taipei City, Xindian, recycling volunteers seize the chance to share their experiences with fellow volunteers at this year-end gathering.
The master gave me the Dharma name, Ben Che, which sounds like trash in Taiwanese, but don't laugh, what I can do is turn trash into gold.
As well, in New Taipei City, Zhuanghe Tzu Chi volunteers put on a short skit to teach participants the importance of protecting sentient beings. Several onstage volunteers are also inspired to adopt vegetarianism through their preparation of their performance.
From the performance, I have learned to love all the lives in this world. They are living beings just like us humans. Now I have decided to go meatless and I will start from my each breakfast.
During the year-end gathering, all volunteer team leaders passed on the torch to new leaders. In the beginning, Jiang Meiyun was worried if she was capable of shouldering the responsibility.
I note that every volunteer has his or her own burden, so why can't we unite together? This way we can shoulder the Tzu Chi responsibility together.
Relishing in the joy of volunteer work, volunteers seized the chance to share their experiences with other participants.
After joining Tzu Chi, I have found joy and contentment. I find this place suits me. You need to join before you can tell if the organization suits you. In this Tzu Chi family, one can feel the caring compassion that can be found nowhere else.
A group of recycling volunteers are dancing and singing on the stage. To celebrate the year-end occasion, they prepare some special programs.
Each commissioner and Tzu is an important component of our recycling mission. We gather together like one big family to give each other our warmest blessings.
I will keep up my efforts in doing recycling. Sorting recyclables is a joyful experience. It's not difficult at all.
Regardless of their advanced age, these recycling volunteers have found a new purpose in life.
Recently, U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to Haiti to attend a year-end blessing ceremony. There, the volunteers also seized the opportunity to get a better understanding of the reconstruction of the Tzu Chi-funded DaAi kindergarten. 4 years after the 2010 Haiti earthquake, life around the capital, Port-au-Prince, has returned to normal. With the help of various countries, the Haitian government has started to rebuild. Among the sponsors is the Taiwanese government, who has promised to help rebuild the country's high court. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi's rebuilding efforts in the country are also continuing. The reconstruction of DaAi Kindergarten was launched on October 2012. Although more than a year and 4 months have passed, the school is still far from complete.
From what I can see, I think the reconstruction project is not even halfway finished.
To speed up the pace of the project, with the invitation from the U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers, Zheng Shuifu, who designed the kindergarten, was invited to Haiti to assist.
Tzu Chi Foundation hopes to give these construction workers a chance to enrich their expertise. It was a great idea, but it has been hard for them to complete such a project within the amount of time given to them.
Other than inspecting the progress of the reconstruction project, U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers also seized the opportunity to hold a medical volunteer training seminar and a year-end blessing ceremony.
This is my 6th time in here, and each time I come, I learn a lot. From 2010 until now, they start growing, and after seeing the New Year blessing, there's so many projects they've been doing. I think that they're growing up.
This is my 3rd time in Haiti, and every time I come back to Haiti, I think I fall in love with this place a little bit more. Even though the environments may be tough, with understanding and with respect to their culture, there is so much that can emerge.
In the future, U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers promise to continue accompany their counterparts and work together to help Haitians create a brighter future. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.